Welcome back to Spider Red. We've had a few weeks to kind of see a few games to see what the teams are going to look like. I feel like I can do a little more of a top 10 for each class. For this episode, I'm only going to go into more detail about 6A and 5A. And then the following time I do the top 10, I'll do 4A, 3A, so forth on down. It just takes a long time to do all classes, but I'll still give you my ranks on the other classes. I just won't go into just a little more detail about what they're doing. For my first top 10, Class 6A, we'll start with number one, Carrollton. Man, they had a statement win against Rome Friday night. Juju is living up to the hype for sure. They pretty much dominated a good Rome team. I have Rome in the top 10 in 5A. And Rome's always had a solid defense, but Carrollton was just too much, pretty much on both sides of the ball. Rome kept it close in like the first half, and then Carrollton just took over. They couldn't stop the run, they couldn't stop the pass for sure. So I have Carrollton at number one. At rank number two, I have the Douglas County Tigers. They've been impressive in their first three games, especially that first game in the Corky Kell Classic. They dominated Cedar Grove Saints, who is a defending 3A state champion. Their leader on defense is Michael Hasty. This kid has 33 tackles in three games. That's 11 tackles per game. He's doing really well. And Douglas County, they're about to go through a gauntlet. They have Langston Hughes and Buford are their next two games, and they actually play Carrollton in their last game. So they're definitely going to have enough tests to prove that they're a top 10 team. At number three, we have Mill Creek, who is being led by a solid defense. Two kids, Luke Metz, who has 24 tackles, and Connor Faber, who has 18. Both of them already have 2 sacks apiece. The Hawks are pretty much blew through their first three games pretty easily, but they'll have the Bulldogs of North Gwinnett coming up next, who I actually have ranked 5th, so it should be a good top 5 matchup. At number 4, we have Collins Hill, who so far started the season off beating Grayson, who is a solid team, 2019. Then they beat Woodward Academy, who was in a championship game last year, 21-14. Man, all these 6A teams are picking on poor Cedar Grove. They beat them 44-13. I have them ranked 4th because they've already beat 3 really good football teams, and they're actually being led by a sophomore quarterback, Makari Cross. He's thrown for 411 yards in the first 3 games, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. And Collins Hill actually goes to Parkview. Later in the season, they will face Buford and Mill Creek in back-to-back games, but so far I have them at number 4. At number 5, I have another school out of Suwanee, North Gwinnett Bulldogs, who went down to Colquitt County and beat the Packers 14-3. Colquitt had 2 big turnovers, but still to go down and beat a quality team is very impressive. They keep moving up my list. Their first game they beat McEachern. They're led by their quarterback, a senior Ryan Hall, who has 4 TD passes, and he actually likes to run. He has 152 yards rushing, but big upset for them to beat Colquitt. And now they've got to turn around and go play ranked 3 Mill Creek. So if you're near Mill Creek, enjoy that. That should be a game that I mentioned earlier. Should be fun to watch. Ranked number 6, we have Camden County Wildcats. They have scored 51, 60, and 52 respectively in their first 3 games. This high-powered offense is lighting the scoreboard up, and I apologize to this quarterback, but Parks, I'm not sure if his last name is Ryan Dew or Ryan Dow. I'm not sure. I apologize. But he's thrown for 724 yards and 9 touchdowns in 3 games. Jordan Hardy, their running back, already has 8 rushing TDs with 267 yards. And then Williams, wearing number 0, has 24 receptions, 317 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We'll see if that region that is loaded with Valdosta, Lowndes, Colquitt, and Tiff, we'll see if they'll be able to slow down that offense towards the end of the season. But right now, I have them at ranked 6. At number 7, I have the Buford Wolves, and I know they probably should be higher, but they've got to prove it. They struggled against Benedictine. They barely beat them by 1 point. Now, the struggle against Milton, that's different. Milton is a top 10 team in the country right now, and they actually played them well. They still have another Raiola at the helm. Dayton has taken over. He's a junior. And this team is loaded with talent, and they have plenty of time to bounce back. They play Roswell and then Douglas County. Both games are away. And then towards the middle of the season, they'll still have Collins Hill. And then their last game, they'll have to travel out to Mill Creek. So they still have 4 top 10 games, plenty of time to prove themselves. And this team is loaded. They can still make a deep run in the playoffs and go for a championship for 6A. At number 8, I have the Valdosta Wildcats. They've had some easier games for their first 3 games, but you still got to take care of those teams. Just like any other sport, when you have a team that you should beat, you need to go out there and prove it, and they have been doing that. And the one thing that I like about this team and could help them play really well in the playoffs is this defense is talented. It has a lot of depth. They already have 17 sacks, and they have 20 players over at least 2 or 3 tackles. I know that what they've been playing has not been up to par like some other teams, but it still shows the depth, and we all know defense wins championships. At number 9, we have the North Cobb Warriors. Their first 3 games, they've won pretty easily. East Coweta gave them a pretty good game this past weekend. They only won 27-20. They do have 3 solid teams they have to play next. That's Cass, North Paulding. Walton just fell out of my top 10 due to their loss to Roswell. At number 10, I have the Colquitt County Packers. They just had that tough loss against North Gwinnett in their home stadium, but they have plenty of time to bounce back. They played well against Lowndes the week before, and they're led by this running back tandem that's been running the ball really well. Deshaun Brown and Tajavian Lamar have been running really well. If you go out to Max Prep, you can see some of their highlights. They're 2 really quick backs. Their biggest problem this past weekend was the big 2 turnovers for them. So that's it for 6A. Let's move on to 5A. Now for 5A, at number 1, we have the Milton Eagles. Man, they're top 10 in the country. They're loaded. I think that's all I need to say. Enough said. At number 2, you have the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets. They are a defending champion of Georgia football, and they have just destroyed the first 3 teams that they've played this year. They have 854 yards of rushing with 10 touchdowns, led by their running back Deuce Lawrence, who has been literally just running wild. Ranked number 3, we have Langston Hughes Panthers. They have only played 2 games. They scored 52 points in both, so they have been very consistent on that part. They play Douglas County, the number 2 in my top 10 for 6A next week. And then after Douglas County, their schedule's not too difficult after Douglas County. They have some solid teams, but no one ranked in the top 10 in any of my classes. So they should be able to run the table after Douglas County. Ranked 4, we have the Coffee Trojans, who their second game they beat Ware County 2016. Ware County's a good team. Their other 2, they destroyed Bainbridge and Columbia. Are we going to start calling them the next big producer of running backs? They go from Fred Brown now over to Tyrese Wiggett. This running back, he looks really good. He was a transfer from Fitzgerald. And Coffee's looking like to make another run at a championship. Now, they're in a very difficult class towards the end of the season. They will play Lee, Houston, and Thomas County Central. Ranked number 5, we have the Gainesville Red Elephants. Their defense has only given up a total of 17 total points so far. They've beat Marietta, Moody, and Westlake. In 2 weeks, they go out and play Carrollton, and also towards the end of the season, they play Milton too. So they're one of the few teams that are actually playing the top 2 classes, number 1 ranked teams. They have Roswell at the end of the season. So in a few weeks, watch their speedy wide receiver, Taz Smith, against Carrollton. Ranked 6, we have the Lee County Trojans, who have won their first 3 games easily as well. They're led by their linebacker, Greg Batson, so watch out for him. And they are in, remember this region, Region 2 and 5A. They're loaded. I've already talked about Thomas County Central. I've already talked about Coffee. Now we have Lee County. And then the next team is in this region as well. They all play each other. It should be a very fun region to watch and pay attention to. And with that said, at number 7, we have Houston County. They defeated Perry, the defending champs of 4A, this past weekend, 31-17. And then, of course, they'll be towards the middle of the season throughout when they start getting into region play. They will have to play Lee County, Coffee, and Thomas County Central. It's kind of crazy that they are at the bottom of that list, and they're a very good football team. So when you're filling out brackets, and I'll keep reminding you this throughout the year, but when you look at that Region 2 and you have a Houston County that might be a 4 seed going against a 1 seed, they might could upset some of those 1s and 2 seeds in the playoffs. So watch out for that region if you fill out a bracket. Moving down to number 8, we have the Roswell Hornets, who are led by 2 Smiths, one a senior running back who has rushed for 229 yards, and then their quarterback, another Smith, who has thrown for 277 yards with 3 touchdowns. They play Buford this coming week. They just upset Walton 42-32. And to beat a quality 6A team and only be ranked 8th in your class is pretty impressive. This is one of the most loaded classes to me. Even outside of 6A, 5A has so much good football in it. I could easily rank 15 teams in this class, unlike the other ones where it kind of gets difficult to get like your 9 and 10s. And speaking of 9, I have the Rome Wolves, who had a disappointing game against Carrollton, but Carrollton's such a good football team. I've watched Rome a lot in the past 10, 15 years just because I have a lot of friends that went there. They will bounce back. They have a great coach, and I wish them luck throughout the rest of the season. To round out Class 5A, at number 10, we have the Brunswick Pirates, who played Camden County pretty well. They got beat 51-41, but I think they can make some headway in 5A. They have a tight end that's 6'7", 265 pounds. Go out and watch highlights of him running a few Wildcat plays. God, he towers over everyone, and he's big, and he's got some decent speed. Just go watch some highlights of the tight end Kent. It's fun to watch him run the Wildcat. For the rest of the rankings, I'm just going to read through, maybe say a few things about them. But at 4A, we have number 1, Marist War Eagles, who beat Jefferson and Woodward Academy as their first 2 games. Pretty impressive. Then at number 2, we have the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes. At number 3, the Perry Panthers. Number 4, Creekside Seminoles, who went out to that game in DeSoto and got beat pretty bad. They got beat 70-0. But DeSoto is a top 5 team in the country. At number 5, Ware County Gators, ranked number 6, Blessed Trinity Titans. At number 7, Benedictine, the Cadets. They almost pulled an upset on Buford, only lost at 29-28. And then you have, at number 8, the Cass Colonels. At number 9, you have North Oconee Titans as well. Then you have the Eastside Eagles. Now, for Class 3A, at ranked number 1, you have the Sandy Creek Patriots. Number 2, Jefferson Dragons. Ranked 3, you have Peach County Trojans. Ranked 4, Mary Person Bulldogs. Ranked 5th, Cedar Grove Saints. Ranked 6, Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Ranked 7, Stevenson Jaguars. Ooh, almost forgot. Number 8, Cherokee Bluff Bears. Number 9, Douglas Astros. And at rank 10, you have the Troup County Tigers. Moving on to Class 2A, the defending champions are ranked number 1, Pierce County Bears. At rank 2, Stevens County Indians. Rank 3, Carvis Columbus Tigers. Rank 4, Burke County Bears. Rank 5th, Appleton County Pirates. Rank 6, Cook Hornets. Rank 7, Morgan County Bulldogs. Ranked 8th, we have the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Ranked 9, the Sumter County Panthers. And ranked 10th, the Callaway Cavaliers. Now for Class 1A Division 1. Rank 1, I have Toombs County Bulldogs. Rank 2, I have another Bulldogs, Thomasville. At rank 3, Dublin Fighting Irish. 4, Fannin County Rebels. 5, Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes. Number 6, Lamar County Trojans. Ranked 7th, Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets. Ranked 8th, Dodge County Indians. At number 9, Bremen Blue Devils. And at 10, Worth County Rams. Okay, getting down to our last two classes. The next one is Class 1A Division 2. And starting rank 1, I have the Irwin County Indians. Rank 2, I have Lincoln County Red Devils. 3, the Bowden Red Devils. Number 4, another Devils, the Manchester Blue Devils. And then 5, Seminole County Indians. 6, Clinch County Panthers. 7, Brooks County Trojans. 8, Greene County Tigers. At 9, Emmanuel County Institute Bulldogs. And one last remaining Bulldogs at rank 10th, the Tryon Bulldogs. And for the remaining division, and I need to get some clarity on this, I think they were trying to remove a lot of the private schools out of your Division 1 and 2 because some of these small counties, as I mentioned in that last, were just, it was kind of unfair for some of these schools that can go out and recruit a little more. So I'm calling this just the private division. I think there are 3A private. I got to get some clarification on that. But I'll run through my top 10. Rank 1, Savannah Christian Raiders. Rank 2, Hebron Christian Lions. Number 3, Lovett Lions. Number 4, North Cobb Christian Eagles. At number 5, Athens Academy Spartans. Number 6, Prince Avenue Christian Wolverines, PAC. And then 7, Calvary Day Cavaliers. 8, Wesleyan Wolves. And then at 9, Fellowship Christian Paladins. And number 10, Trinity Christian Crusaders. So that wraps it up. That's my top 10 for all the classes in the state of Georgia. Come back. I'm going to probably do this every 2 weeks because it takes so much research and watching. I only get to watch maybe 1 or 2 games a week. It's not like college football where there's just an abundance of amount of information out there. But I love high school football, and I love doing all the research and trying to see who's doing well. Hey, as always, thank you for listening to Spider Red. Tell somebody you love them. Later.